Alright, so we're talking about algebraic expressions. Now, we might remember a numerical expression. Numerical expression is just 3 plus 3, or 4 times 2. It has an operation, and there's no equal signs in there, right? An algebraic expression is very similar. Again, we don't use equal signs with these. It's kind of like a phrase. If you refer to English class, we would say, with Mr. Surrender. Well, with Mr. Surrender what? There's no verb in there. It's not a sentence. This is the same thing. There's no equal sign, so it's not a mathematical sentence. The only difference between an algebraic expression and a numerical expression, well, starts with a V. I'm giving you a hint right there. Yep, it's a variable. So a variable would be an unknown amount, and that can change. That can change. An algebraic expression also has a constant, or many constants. You can also have many variables, I should say that too. And the third thing that it must have is an operation. So examples of operations: times, right, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Any of those will do, okay, when we're talking about operations. So to recap, we got three things: a variable, a constant, and an operation. So if we're looking at an algebraic expression, we could say 6 plus a. Very basic algebraic expression. We have a constant, that's 6. It's just a number, that's all it is. A plus sign, the operation, and a, which is our variable in this case. We could do another example. So we'll call this one example A. Okay. Well, let's do example B. We'll get a little bit more complicated with this one. We could have 5 times B minus A. So if you look at this one, we have two variables, we have one constant, and we have two operation signs, a minus sign and a time sign. Now if you notice there on example B, there's a time sign in there, and that's going to get confusing because a lot of times we use the variable x. So if you are more comfortable with using the raised dot in multiplication, that's probably a good thing because you're going to get confused. So let's say I have the variable x and I'm multiplying it. Well, if I'm multiplying it, it starts to look very confusing. X times 3. We don't really know kind of what are we multiplying x times x, what's going on there. So rather than that, I try to get in the habit of either making your x like a cursive x, kind of like that, with a little curve on it, or you can use the raised dot or both. So x times 3, and that's a lot easier to use. Another thing you might want to get used to, and this is going to be example D, what if we have the number right next to the variable? Do you know what that means? This is another way of saying 6 times A. There's nothing in between it. So when there's nothing in between, remember, it's not division, it's not addition, it's not subtraction, it's multiplication. And this is something you'll see a lot. So if you see it, don't be caught off guard. It just means 6 times A. And it is an algebraic expression. Hopefully that's a good start for you. We'll definitely get some more practice and some examples of some problems.